just for old time's sakes. And three, two, one, and we're live. Hi, how you doing? I'm Mike Dixon, better known as Joker Tech, and can I get this? No, wait a minute. This guy here.
There you go.
There we go. It's George, and Mobile Geezer is here tonight, and I want to say Merry Christmas first off.
Merry Christmas to everybody, and God bless us, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yes. God bless, and our biggest thing we could gift we could have is being with our family.
God bless us, everyone. Yeah, right there goes my phone.
Yes. Okay, I'm looking here. I'm making sure it wasn't me.
It always does that when we go live. I don't know. It doesn't matter which phone I use either.
Anyway, we're healthy with our families, and I was just telling George here, as much as I miss being with certain members of my family, but it was nice to be home, and we used various video chatting to see our family, but just to be more at a relaxed pace. You know what I mean? So
I talked to my cousin in the Bronx today. All she wanted to do was stay home and relax. I talked to Eleanor today, asked if she wanted to go eat. No, all she wanted to do was stay home and relax too. So sometimes you just need that.
Yeah. So, George, I didn't get a chance to ask you in the green room your proximity to Nashville. Where are you versus that?
For me to get to where the bombing happened would be about a 2.5 hour drive for me.
Okay, east or west of you?
West of me. I'd say 2 hours and 15 minutes minimum.
Okay.
Because I know when I saw the picture, I kind of knew approximately where it was.
Yeah, and with you traveling, doing what you do, I figure you'll be there. So
that was only a couple of blocks from Broadway, and Broadway is where all the clubs and bands are.
Okay. Wow. Okay. They were talking about AT&T being knocked out.
That's what I heard. Yeah, that's some of the speculation was that the reason, because of the AT&T, like it's a major AT&T,
like a hub or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no effect. I was hearing.
Right, and no effect. No effect on your end. I mean, obviously we have connection. We have, what do you got? Comcast, you said still?
No. Yes, I'm sorry. Comcast here. Yes.
So that didn't get affected. Okay. All right. I thought of you immediately. I just been seeing this whole thing evolve.
Yeah, we're a long way from there. Let me recognize who's here now. First, I'm going to recognize who was here first yesterday.
I know.
And I think Brian was first yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Nigel said Brian beat him by minutes, I guess.
But nobody was in the room when I got here today.
Yeah, and that's what always happens when it's a day early. Whoever gets in first, you don't see them in there again. I don't know why.
Okay.
Nigel was second, but as of today, Leo, Android Stud, he's the first one in.
Yeah. I was so excited. Hey, Leo, thank you for stopping in.
We appreciate it, Leo. And 6 was right behind him. They were in the same minute. And CH Gadgets is in here right behind him.
For coming in. Thank you.
And Alpha came in. I saw Alpha on an earlier live show I was watching before. What's up, Alpha? And Ted is here, of course. He's in. So Ted, if you're not here, and we're glad you're here at least in spirit.
There we go.
And Eleanor came in right behind him.
Hey, Eleanor.
I didn't get to see Eleanor today, so Merry Christmas.
And some person named Carol Dixon. Who's she?
Yeah. Well, Brian's in front of Carol, and then Mom is here. Hey, Carol, Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all, and glad you're all here. So.
Yes. Thank you for everybody stopping in. So
a nice showing.
Yeah. I was a little concerned. That's why I was, and then to be honest with you, it's one of those rare moments. It just everything, fell into place.
Yeah.
I could do this today. It wasn't like a work day for me. That's why I say, you know what? I'm just going to go live, and then when Ted said he couldn't make it, and then I said, well, George can't make it. I get it. It's a holiday. I'll just ride this pony as long as I can. Okay. But thank you for, everybody, including you, George, for joining in today. So.
Okay. And as always, everybody, the show notes, if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, and it'll be the first story there. And if you looked at them on Twitter, my post on Twitter or Facebook, you'll see the show notes in there. You can just click on it. But either way, we want you to have the same notes we do.
Right. So we're going to start with the first story, and I'm just going to say real quick, Mom, you might want to stick around for this story here, because her and I have been. I admit I haven't been a good son, and I haven't taken care of her router. Oh, where'd you go, George? George? Did it, George? Okay. Anyway, hey, while George figures out what the heck happened, I hope what we were just talking about didn't jinx us. Yeah. Anyway, there was news a few days ago about cable companies no longer rent you the router you already own. Now, I'm going to assume, though, this is particularly to people who actually own it, and yet the cable company will still would charge you a fee of some kind. So I'm worried about George all of a sudden, like gone, like gone. This is weird. Normally I do. Oh, wait a minute. And you're back. Okay.
That was totally the old man's fault. I was trying to share my screen to put the story up, and I just kicked myself out of the studio.
That's when I got worried. I said, "Oh, we were just talking about that whole thing in Nashville." I'm like, going, "Oh no, I hope that's okay."
That's just the old man with fumble fingers.
Yeah, I know. I do this. I do the same thing at work too. So, anyway, I'll read the story. The one with Motorola when we get to it. That one I want. That's okay. That's
all yours.
Yeah, I want it all mine. I didn't tell you that in the back room. So
okay.
So, as I was about to read, cable companies can no longer rent you the router you already own. Frontier has charged $10 a month for absolutely nothing. Exactly. And for Frontier is a cable like company like Comcast. So, is your internet service provider charging you every month for a cable modem or a router that you purchase with your own money? Or perhaps have you ever bothered to buy those items because you couldn't escape the fees? The fee is illegal starting Sunday, December 20th, and you should tell your ISP to no longer tolerate it. Yeah, I just want to divert real quick. I've been talking, and if Mom, you're still here, we will be working on that before in this middle of the holidays, because I got time off, and we're going to get that straightened out. We got to get her off of paying whatever she pays each month for that.
Right, exactly. Now, of course, that one line in the story kind of threw me off. So
yeah,
it's illegal starting last Sunday. Is it still on you to tell them not to charge you? You would think they would just stop charging you.
Oh no! Come on, George. You gotta go through the motions. You know what I mean? You're the one's got to do the legwork.
I mean, it's the law. I don't understand how they can not obey the law.
Come on, George. Look. You go into. We've talked about this before. You go into you go and buy a cell phone, and you just buy the phone, and they don't tell you, oh, by the way, there's a better plan for less money. You can get on. No, they leave you on it. I ran across that.
But the difference is there's no law that's telling them.
I understand that, but the guy behind the counter
is a law that they can't charge you anymore.
True that, but they.
I love your mother's comment, by the way. You see your mother's comment?
No, let me see. No. What does she say now?
I totally
hate Comcast even more.
I totally understand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute. I can click her on that. I can click on that.
You can.
There you go. And Mom, I think you're not alone on that sentiment for most people.
Comcast is, I can tell you, I had to do research when I wrote a story a few years ago. Comcast, I believe, is always in the top 10 of most hated countries in America. I don't think that ever changes.
Companies, not country. No, they can probably own their own country.
Yeah, they're always in the top 10 of most hated countries, and I can understand why.
Real quick before I continue, I see Mike West here. I want to say thank you very much for coming in. Alan Anthony, Phone Tech at Work, he's here. My wife is here, Patricia. Hi, how you doing? Thank you very much.
Hey, Pat.
So yes, I'll be trying to remember. I'm in control. I like that.
That's right. Merry Christmas, Mike. Alan, I said Merry Christmas on somebody else's stream early, but Merry Christmas again to you, Alan. Alan and I were both in the stream, and I said Jersey is well represented in here.
Here we go. And you will come with me to Comcast, so I don't have to rough up any of those people there.
Good, Carol. Good, Carol.
Yeah.
We don't want you getting arrested for hurting those people.
No.
But I understand the attitude.
She's a tough one. She would put, at 79 doesn't stop her at all. Let me just say that.
And Rob just came in. Merry Christmas, Rob, which we had just said Merry Christmas on Instagram a little while ago.
So let me continue. I'm sorry. I had to jump off there. Last year, Congress passed a law that would have fixed the ridiculous loophole as of June 20th, 2020. And through the FCC managed to extend the deadlines by 6 months by spinning some bullshit about how cable companies didn't have to have the resources to stop charging you the money.
That is BS. That's total BS.
The law should take a full effect tomorrow. Do note that the actual text of the law still allows some BS to occur. If your ISP sends you a router, you'll need to return to avoid the charges. So that's where I guess and that's pretty gutsy to that. That's ridiculous if you think about it. I returned it. I bought my own, and yet you're still going to charge me now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Frank goes on to says here, Frontier in particular has been notorious for charging customers a $10 a month for their equipment, whether you use it or not. The company's words, not mine, by Frontier is clearly aware it won't be able to do that anymore. Starting this month, the company equipment page has changed to remove the part where it talks about the mandatory fee. Here's the archive copy from the site. If you click on the link from it last month, if you want to compare. If you can purchase your own cable modem, which we're going to do, Mom, I suggest you do so. Modems will generally pay for themselves in less than a year. And the all-in-one router boxes that ISP typically offers worse Wi-Fi coverage than you could easily add to your house itself, particularly now that mesh Wi-Fi are better, cheaper, and easier to use than ever before. And yes, I will say I got the Google Wi-Fi, and that's completely solved a lot of my problems in the house with my my outside cameras, with buffering on the TV. It basically to me, and if I'm using the wrong term, please tell me so. Partitions. I managed to partition it off.
Yeah, no,
some of the things are on the Wi-Fi, the Google Wi-Fi, which is, to me, the speeds are better. To me, that's what, and I still use the actual Wi-Fi connection that comes with it on some of my phones. So I separate it that way.
Yeah, when in Eleanor's house, she still has the Nest Wi-Fi, and it made it a lot better there too. I love your mother's latest comment. Look at
Let me hear. I'm busy reading, so I didn't get a chance to. What's this now? What's this? You want me to stay on here? 100 points. You know my feeling about cable companies.
I totally understand.
Yeah. So here, RP Rob, thank you for stopping by. Merry Christmas. Gary Brown, thank you very much. Just let me finish this one story real quick. The rest of it says it also doesn't help that in the US we pay roughly 8 to 17 times more to rent a modem on the average than Asia and Europe do respectively. That's just one of the ways America's internet needs to be fixed in 2021. There, and it is jacked up. Let me tell you. And so,
oh, look at Gary's. Yeah,
he sent me an email, Bill, and we're going to discount $4.88 on my next bill. That is $4.88 to a $260 bill. It's nothing. It is.
I guess they're only sending it because they had to, I guess.
Oh man. See, real quick, I see he was Tech for Your Needs is here. Thank you for coming in. Mom, you can go now because I probably got you all riled up, talking about your lovely Comcast issues. I'll be talking to you more. I'm going to see you. We're going to see Mom tomorrow and get her Christmas gifts down to her tomorrow. So, we'll talk. We'll be talking about that, Brian, when we get through some of the stories. I give you a little. I got a spin on that. OnePlus 8 Pro on that. So, yeah. What's the next story there?
The COVID-19 stimulus bill.
Oh, yes.
I have it up already.
Okay, I will. And you didn't click the wrong button, right?
No, I'm still here.
So go ahead, Jory. I found this interesting because of
another example of our politicians. That's all.
Right. So go ahead.
This was on the Hollywood Reporter. The COVID-19 stimulus bill would make illegal streaming a felony. So, Congress. Oh wait, I went too far. Go back up. Okay, got it. Congress looks to provide relief to U.S. citizens and small businesses, but the omnibus bill includes some legislative priorities for the entertainment industry as well. Providing relief via direct assistance and loans to struggling individuals and businesses hit hard by COVID-19 has been a priority for federal lawmakers this past month. But a gigantic spending bill has also become the opportunity to smuggle in, perfect phrase, some other line items, including those of special interest to the entertainment community. Perhaps most surprising, according to the text of the bill, a combination of COVID relief and annual government spending, illegal streaming for commercial profit could become a felony. It's been less than 2 weeks since Senator Thomas Tillis released his proposal to increase the penalties for those who would dare stream unlicensed works. In doing so, the North Carolina Republican flirted with danger. About a decade ago, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat in Minnesota, made a similar proposal before it ended up dying as people worried about sending Justin Bieber to jail. No, seriously. But Tillis's attempt has been winning better reviews for more narrowly tailoring the provisions toward commercial operators rather than users. That said, it's had very little time to circulate before evidently becoming part of the spending package. If passed, illegal streaming of works, including movies and music tracks, could carry a penalty of up to 10 years in jail. And interestingly, as it said, it had very little time to circulate. I saw one of the people from Congress on a Facebook Live a little while ago, and she was saying that she had voted against the bill because they sent them the bill, 2,000 pages, and said you have to vote on it in a few hours. And she's a lawyer. She says, how can anybody vote on a bill that's 2,000 pages and know what's in it in a couple of hours? And she was right. That's not the only change to copyright law either. The spending bill also appears to adopt a long-discussed plan to create a small claims adjudication system within the U.S. Copyright Office. Advocates have long sought to give copyright owners some recourse to infringement outside of the expensive federal court system through the so-called Case Act, though the so-called Case Act has engendered some pushback from those weary of throwing certain disputes into unaccountable bureaucrats working for an agency suspected of favoring industry. Some critics believe the alternative dispute system to be unconstitutional, though making the system opt-in and non-compulsory. Advocates hope that it will survive any legal challenge and ultimately lead to swifter resolution over takedown notices for copyright material posted online. The Case Act previously passed the House by a 410-6 vote. That's a heavy-duty vote, before being blocked in the Senate by Ron Wyden, Democrat, Oregon. Among other parts of the omnibus bill of interest to Hollywood is an extension of Section 181, a tax provision that allows for immediate deduction of television and film production costs up to $15 million. Why? Why do they deserve that break? Okay, never mind. That incentive was scheduled to expire at the end of the year, but would now get an additional 5 years. More analysis on it coming. Update on Monday night, lawmakers voted in favor of the package, but of course we all know that the president vetoed it, but now they're trying to override that. We'll see. Yeah. But a lot of the lawmakers aren't for this bill because it doesn't give us much. It gives stuff like crap like this. It gives stuff to foreign countries, and most Americans, you get $600. She said that's a freaking insult. I agree.
Well, there was one comment about Alpha here put in here. Interesting how they snuck that into the bill. All those people getting $600, which won't pay.
And that's exactly what that lawmaker said that I saw on Facebook Live. She said $600 is not even going to pay most people's rent. She said the whole thing is an insult. But meanwhile, companies are getting breaks, and foreign companies are getting money, and Americans are getting screwed again. And I think she's absolutely right, and I agree with Alpha 100%.
Real quick, I don't not to divert, but here's a comment from my mom. I don't know if you caught this. Got mom all riled up now over that whole cable thing. Now she's
okay.
I'm gonna watch National Lampoon.
That's probably a good idea, Carol.
Okay, got mom all really going. I can't wait to see her tomorrow. Boy, you know. Glad you're all. I'm writing to her now.
Okay. All right, I'm going to finish this last
paragraph. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Motion Picture Association of America cheered the outcome. The trade group said in a statement, "We are encouraged that this legislation includes an expanded employee retention credit, a grant for movie theaters, and an extension of the federal film, television, and live theatrical incentive. We are also pleased that the package includes the Protect Lawful Streaming Act, which protects creators, innovators, and consumers by ensuring that operators of commercial pirate streaming services face meaningful criminal penalties in appropriate circumstances." And I'd be for that too. I just don't think it should be part of a stimulus bill. That's all. Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right, I'm knocking that down.
Go ahead. And Don's in the room. Don says hello.
Hey, Don. Yeah, I was watching Don on a live broadcast earlier. That's where I had run into Alan and Alan. Oh, okay. Yeah, we were all watching another.
Whose stream was that?
I had no. Don, what's the name of the guy who you were streaming with before? I had never been on his stream before.
Really? Don stream? Yeah.
No, it wasn't Don. He wasn't hosting the stream.
Oh, okay. All right.
But he'll tell me the guy's name.
Yeah, Don, we're going to touch base. It wasn't part of the plan, but like I said, this is Lucy. We're just going with the flow. But so I do have a segue into about the Moto Edge once we cover. I believe is the next story.
So no, this is going to be a very edgy show.
Huh?
It's going to be a very edgy show.
Edgy show. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to jump into that one, and we'll backtrack to the next one about Apple made the list.
All right. So we're going to the.
We're going to go. I got two people asking about the Moto. My time with the Moto.
All right. I'm pulling it up. Okay. Now I've got the screen shared.
Okay. All right, there you go. Shock to no one, Motorola won't update any of its older phones to Android 11. Motorola released a list of devices it plans to update to Android 11. All the phones on the list came out in either 2019 or 2020. After the disappointment of 2020 brought with it, you might have hoped that a company like Motorola would have tried to end the year on a high note, but not to be this case. The company shared its Android 11 upgrade plans, and there's no better than anything Motorola has put together over the past couple of years. As you can see from the list below, if you own a Motorola phone or Moto phone that came out before 2019, don't expect the company to push the latest version of Google's operating system onto your device. What's more, even if you own a Moto phone from 2019 to 2020, you will end up waiting a while to get anything. Motorola said it will begin rolling out Android 11 starting in the coming months, pending partner support. In other words, particularly a potentially long wait, particularly if you don't own one of those high-end devices on the list like the Razr 5G or the Edge. If you happen to own a Motorola One Action, you bought it in North America, you're out of luck. Motorola only plans to update the Latin American and European variants of that phone to Android 11 since it's included on the Android One program in those places. Even by a Motorola lackluster support standard, this is not a great show for the company. Thankfully, update lists like this, like the one above, may come less common in the future. Google and Qualcomm recently announced a partnership to deliver 4 years of support to future Snapdragon-equipped devices. That pledge is likely to help low-end, mid-range devices the most. See the full list of Motorola plans to update below. And it goes through all these different phones here, from the Razr 5G, the Razr 2019, the Edge Plus, the Motorola One 5G, the One Action, One Fusion Plus, One Hyper, One Vision, the G5G, the G5G Plus, the G Pro, the G Stylus.
There's mine.
Yeah. G9, the G9s, the G8, the G Fembo, G8.
I never even heard of that one.
Yeah. The G Power, and now, so for some reason, the Lenovo K12 Note is in here.
I wondered how that made it to the list.
Yeah, there were some other stories we were questioning about that. Yeah. And here's the thing. First off, I'm getting, people are in here asking about my thoughts on the Moto Edge. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a video. I really want to make a video. I really want to get the internet all twisted up on some of my thoughts. Okay. I'm holding up both phones. I don't know. Oh, I got the wrong one now. Because here's the thing. Here's the 8 Plus. Okay. Here's the Edge. The phones are identical as far as physical size. Okay. All right. They're both curved screens. This has the decent mid-range, as they call it, the 765 chipset, right. 765G. This has the big boy, the 865. Right. Okay. This one's going to get 3 years of support. You're telling me that this Moto Edge is going to only get one? That's horrible. There's no excuse for Motorola to do that. And another thing is, it doesn't mean that when they talk about that chipset, I'm going to go over the road here, but when they talk about Qualcomm and Google working on a 4-year plan, mind you, that's basically going to be Google and their phones. Doesn't mean now Google's going to share, they're going to work this out.
Search result.
Oh, geez.
Wasn't me that time.
That was me. Yeah. It was me for the first time. But that doesn't mean that information is going to be like G's doing. I'll say G. Okay. That's mostly because of the Pixel. Okay. Now that information is going to be shared to a point, but there's got to be something done here with these companies. Like,
but the articles that I've read kind of implied that because it's a deal with Qualcomm, that other OEMs would be getting longer updates. Because
you see, that's the thing. I've also heard conflicting on that. Google, when we're talking the Pixel here,
Right.
the Pixel is going to stand a chance getting 4-year support.
Right.
Where the other phones like Samsung, like OnePlus, they can opt just get the 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It kind of goes back, George. It kind of goes back to this. We talked about this before, and I think I talked about the last time I was on live. I brought this up just for fun and giggles. We are going to be paying for updates.
Yeah,
think about it.
Yeah,
I want 4 years of updates. I want to get a Pixel. Pixel is going to name their price. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you want a premium phone from Samsung that's going to get 4-year updates. That phone's going to be X amount of dollars.
It's going to be a 4-year update price.
Right. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
But to this day, there's no reason this phone should only get 1 year, one OS update. That's despicable. That is, in plain English, that's like the cable company wanting to charge you $10 for a modem that you don't have in a house.
Yeah, but look at Don's comment about the Z3. I mean,
Don Z3. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's still on 9, not even 10.
And we'll stay on and to yes. Now I'll swing back again. Can I recommend this phone to anybody? Yeah, sure. If you got $800 you don't know what to do with, sure. This is a good phone. This phone all day long at $499. The $699 price, they're smoking pot in plain English. $699 is not worth for this phone. $499, that's constantly on sale. And when it was on, that was a great price at $399 during the Black Friday, all day long. All day long. And then if it's stuck on 11, because I will admit I like 10. 9 was nice. Android 9 is nice. And each iteration gets a little bit, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's even better. You know what I mean? And if somebody was stuck on 11, they could live on 11 when it goes to 12 and 13, the next Android 13. Right. And still wouldn't notice the difference. I got sitting over here from my friend Tom, had the V20. Okay. It's stuck on Pi. He could care less. So that's the other thing, though, too. This is where we grapple these issues between, getting 4-year updates.
Yeah, it's us techies that care about it.
Exactly. And the people who and we talked about it before. iPhones get 5 years, 6 years of OS updates and support and security patches, and that's great. That's great, but most of the people that you deal with, like my friend Tom, I'm not talking just not iPhone or his phone. As long as that phone worked, and the only reason
Eleanor often says she doesn't update sometimes, even though she sees it, because she's afraid the update's going to mess up her phone. And she's happy with her phone.
I could recommend this phone with no problem. I do admit I will take a pause because of knowing that it's not going to get 2 years of updates.
Right.
But this really takes great pictures. The performance is great.
Yeah, Jay Will was saying good things about it too.
And it really is. It really is. And again, $699, not worth it. Miles, if you're going to go $699, just go get the Pixel.
Okay.
Without a doubt. $399 to $499 is pushing it for that phone.
I'm looking at Brian's 3XL comment though, but
where's he at here? Where I've been just on my.
It was right below Don's list. His 3XL battery started to swell. 2 up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that. I've heard plenty of comments.
It was infamous for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at least he replaced it.
He traded in to get some money back and he got the 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. See, now Brian's right. If both of those companies did those 2 things, boy, you'd have 2 great, devices every year.
I mean, I get the budget aspect, but come on. Now I could see the Moto E. That's never going to get an update. But some of the bottom of the G line, like the Moto Fast, I think, and there might have been another G phone that if you want to give it 1 year, it's fine.
But CH Gadgets may be right. I think it probably did better with the Edge than they thought it was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people like the Edge.
Yeah, I just it just that when I was reading that and I'm like, oh, I preface it this way. I for a while I turned my back on Motorola because I was having some quality issues
Right.
and that whole thing. But I guess I'm in an abusive relationship. I just like them, and I want the abuse.
Okay.
And I got the stylus, and I when this came out, I was just I gotta get it.
You haven't had any issues with your stylus because I haven't.
No, I'm talking about going back.
Yeah, I know you're going back to.
I had two phones with screen.
You had the 5, right?
What?
Didn't you have a Moto 5?
I have a G5 Plus for my son
Plus,
one day. The screen went blank and was unresponsive. Mom had a G4, and these are really nice phones.
Yeah.
Mom's phone it had ghosting, like you would touch it and then eventually the reaction on the screen will come around. Okay. But to their credit, it was out of warranty, and Moto gave me a refurbished one.
Oh, good.
So, but like I said, between those little quality control issues and knowing that Moto wasn't really staying behind, I couldn't do it. But then but when I get somebody who's on Android, right, and they want a phone, and they want to especially for the people who want to be carrier free, the unlock,
and they want an affordable phone too.
Affordable phone. I can't turn that away. Now the 3A, when that came out, that pretty much started filling that slot.
Yeah.
And now the 4A, I could actually say.
Exactly.
But if you want to up your game to a bit, this is an up the game. And then getting back to what I was saying is my whole point of my video is going to be I'm going to be comparing these two.
Okay.
And pointing out, I'm going to just say what I think here is why get this phone? I like this phone. This is a really nice phone. Don't get me wrong, but this is a really nice phone too.
Exactly.
So
I'm a lot less money.
For a lot less money. Exactly. So I can go on forever. George, let me stop.
Hey, you made a good point. Obviously, it's a sticking point with you, and that's good. We're all learning stuff.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Now he says it's. Now, wait a minute. Let me just say this. CH, it is a flop for one reason, because Moto and Verizon are in bed trying to make a baby, and they got this baby. Okay, I never understood why in a God's green earth now Motorola could be a player.
Right.
You know what? That list. Hold on. Let me see something. That list.
Your big house. Merry Christmas, sir. You
mean to tell me the Moto Edge Plus, the one with the big boy chipset in it, is only going to get 1 year support? That's disgusting. That's
sad, isn't it?
That's bad. Come on, man. Oh man. Anyway, and Moto will always come out with the carrier variant first, and then a few months later you could get the unlocked one. They didn't offer it, and that's a shame. They didn't offer
it at all this time.
And that's a shame.
If it had been offered at some point, I probably would have gotten one. But of course, I'm not going to get a Verizon one because I don't use Verizon.
Nah, it's not. It's just I wouldn't waste the money. If you wanted, to be honest with you, it sounds like a lot of stuff the Edge Plus has, this phone pretty much has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Okay, we're going to circle back to the Apple story.
Okay, I'm pulling it up right now.
Let me see which one. Which one is this now?
Holding back the message. It's about
okay. Yeah.
Okay, I've got it shared.
Oh, I gotta do my thing.
And where is Will when his expertise would come in handy right now?
Yeah, I know. You care to read this one? I'll do the 5G one.
All right, this is on Android Police. And of course, this is Will's wheelhouse, but I'll read it. Apple is holding back.
I'm surprised he didn't. This is the Will be freaking out.
He didn't come in just for this. Yeah,
just for this.
Apple is holding back messaging progress across the entire world with iMessage. SMS-based fallback flies in the face of its privacy values too, and I think that's the more important issue here. But we'll see that as we go down. So I'm scrolling, keep scrolling. Okay. Google's rollout of its RCS-based chat in the Messages app is now complete, delivering on the years-long promise of a better universal messaging standard on Android. But it's still not the iMessage for Android many of us hoped it might be. And perhaps ironically, it's Apple that's standing in the way of that. In case you've lived under a rock for the last couple of years, Google's been rolling out a new RCS messaging initiative it calls Chat via its Messages app. It's based on the Universal Profile RCS standard, courtesy of its Jive acquisition back in the day, and it adds extra messaging features like read receipts, better group chats, typing indicators, higher quality media, and more. Originally, the hope was carriers could handle the rollout of the new RCS-based messaging, but they botched it by refusing to implement cross-compatible standards until last year. Thankfully, Google decided to circumvent their dithering, delivering us messaging salvation, I love that phrase, in the face of their failure to cooperate for consumer interests. And that was a big deal because nobody would cooperate. Who was it? Sprint was the only one that cooperated, I think. As of today, Google claims that its rollout is now worldwide, making RCS messaging available to Android using customers everywhere via its Messages app. Essentially, this is a universal solution. Customers on incompatible carriers can connect directly to Google's Jive for RCS messaging, and those on carriers that are compatible with the Universal Profile standard can still use the same app while connecting to their carrier's servers instead. In short, whether your carrier supports it or not, you can send RCS messages courtesy of Google's app. Short of bypassing the carriers entirely, this is basically the ideal solution. Since Android has somewhere between 72% and 85% of the world's smartphone market share, this basically means Google is almost single-handedly responsible for rolling out RCS worldwide, with one very significant exception. In either case, the market balances iOS and Apple's iPhones don't support RCS messaging. Many, including me, had hoped Apple might support RCS messaging in its latest iPhones as a result of GSM association requirements regarding 5G standards. But the new iPhone 12 landed with 5G, but without RCS support. Although Apple was reportedly in discussions to support RCS last year, there hasn't been any news on the subject since then. And until iPhone support it, messages between Android and iOS devices will still fall back to ancient SMS. Since Apple won't bring iMessage to Android, and since RCS and the Universal Profile are open standards, Apple could implement at any time either way. It's on Apple to plug the gap here, as its lack of action on either front widens the messaging gap between the closed iOS bubble and the rest of the world. Scrolling. Okay. This further entrenches the two separate messaging bubbles. Both iMessage and RCS chat now support many of the same popular features, like higher quality media, message reactions, and typing indicators. And there's no reason chat and iMessage can't be made at least partially compatible, short of Apple's failure to connect them. But that's not the only thing Apple is holding back due to its failure to implement RCS standards. Although Apple is among the first to champion its privacy-centric approach to basically everything, whenever someone with an iPhone messages someone on Android, they get that SMS-based green bubble fallback. With Google's RCS system soon to support end-to-end encryption, Apple's leaving its customers messages to anyone with an Android device, read the majority of this planet, unsecured, casting a disingenuous shadow over its claims that privacy is a core value. I totally agree. If Apple genuinely cared about privacy, it would be doing everything possible to avoid that insecure SMS-based fallback. Even if we can't get iMessage on Android, Apple's failure to support RCS messaging and the Universal Profile Standards isn't just holding back messaging efforts worldwide, it's also standing in the way of its own customers' privacy now that Google is committed to supporting end-to-end encryption for the standard. It's time for Apple to get off its hypocritical high horse and adopt RCS, if not for the good of messaging, then at a minimum for its own customers and the privacy values that it claims to uphold. I couldn't agree more.
I just, yeah, I like the story. Very valid points. You know,
and the whole privacy thing is, to me, the much bigger deal here. They're the ones who say they're the best in the world at privacy. Well, then try standing up behind that. To me,
and the Google or RCS is trying to be safer. You know,
exactly.
For privacy concerns and stuff like that. Now, Alpha put in here, iMessage still the better features than RCS on Android.
And I think I can think of one, I believe, but I think Alpha's probably right, but I think they're close enough now.
Yes.
Personally, I don't think Apple has the right to hold it back from that kind of privacy. So
but it goes back
I agree with Alpha, but I still think they should.
It goes back to what Will would say. Will would say that would be one of the features that people will come to Apple only to get the iMessage.
Yeah, but from here on out, people are going to beat them up over their privacy hypocrisy, because until they allow RCS, it's nothing but hypocrisy every time they open their mouth about it.
True that, you know. And it wasn't the thing about Apple and privacy, and then Facebook and wasn't Facebook getting on them about privacy, but yet, you know, Facebook.
That was about a month and a half ago or so.
But Facebook is one of the biggest.
It's like the biggest, the worst.
Right, but yet they let them have Facebook on their own thing. They should really block Facebook, just like, you know what I mean? So, but I found that story interesting. Again, that. George, if you ever like scrolling and you're looking through and it's like, man, this is a good story, and you don't want to lose the spot, and you're like in a hurry up situation, hit the there's going to be the little share button, and if you hit share and then you go through whatever format, whatever you're using, Android or iOS, sure enough, Google keeps in there. I've had that article for probably about 3 months. I don't know how long that article. Anyway, whatever it was one of those moments. This is where Google Keep really November. It seems like forever. But this is where I saw it. I'm like, I kind of like breezed through the thing. I'm like, nah, I'm keeping this. This is gonna be a good story.
But see, you do the same thing I do. Whenever I find an article, I stick it right in Google Keep because it's so easy to do.
Okay, you do that. Okay, yeah. Because now I've been finding that Google Keep is one of the things when you want to share it, it's in that cluster of things.
Exactly.
It is, and I just pulled that, and then. If I'm on another phone that it's on my personal account, my work account, if I see it there, I then include me as a collaborator in that. So that's why I can get it from one to the other. So,
cool.
Okay.
I've got the next story, and I just shared it.
The 5G one?
Yes.
Okay. My favorite subject. 5G.
After you get finished.
Now I want everybody in the stream here. Let me put it. I want everybody in the stream to do this. I want a bunch of 5Gs right now. Okay, I want everybody to put a 5G in the comment. All right, that's going to be like, you know, that's our little thing there. You know, Jerome, I'm sorry if you see this. I'm copying from you because he has somebody's new or something like that. He throws out, you know, the Nexus emoji or something. I don't know, some kind of emoji to welcome somebody. So I want my own 5G. And I saw this, like I gotta read about this. So
this must be a good topic. Okay, I couldn't leave that alone.
Is the story up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is on 9 to 5 Mac.
Yes. Oh, look at all the 5Gs popping up. I love it.
There they are.
All right. And then matter of fact, go out and get, and I want to, what do you call that? Hashtag it. Hashtag the heck out.
Okay.
All right. PSA: if you're on Verizon, you might want to turn off 5G to get faster speeds. Now, you know what? I'll ask the people in the audience here. Let's count how many times I say the word 5G in this article. So the iPhone 12 gives you the ability to turn off 5G if you want maximize battery life, but tests indicate that Verizon's users might want to do that so far for a second reason, and somewhat bizarre reason, to get faster mobile data speeds. Tests were performed using an iPhone 12 Pro at 8 locations around New York City, but similar results are likely to be seen elsewhere. PC Mag performed the test. We ran tests on the iPhone 12 Pro toggled between 5G and 4G at the same locations. In both cases, DSS 5G turned in worse results than 4G LTE. So real quick, do you know, George, what DSS stands for?
No, but it explains it further down. And that's the problem. It's because they're using that DSS 5G instead of real 5G. That's what's causing it.
I look at the iPhone 12 Pro. I took the iPhone 12 Pro to 8 locations around New York City, and I compare 4G to 5G speed at the first 7 locations. The 5G was DDS and generally a slower than 4G. The reasons for this is because Verizon uses a shortcut to achieve 5G coverage known as dynamic spectrum sharing, or DSS. DSS 5G reuses parts of 4G channel for 5G phones, with automatically preferring a 5G network over a 4G one. So Verizon customers will see that the coveted 5G icon pop up, but it's all for show. For most recent tests, using iPhone 12 Pro in New York City show that DSS 5G is frequently slower than 4G and rarely faster. These results are similar to what we saw in October in Chicago with the Pixel 5. Then wait a minute, did I read that? These results are similar to the one on October. So it's just not the iPhone.
It's Verizon with that DSS.
Okay. I want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah.
Verizon didn't admit that 5G would typically be slower than LTE, but did acknowledge that there is no real disadvantage.
No real advantage
to current implementation of 5G.
So they're basically admitting that it's useless, basically.
Okay. No, wait a minute. The soapbox. Stay off the soapbox, Mike. Okay.
Get on the soapbox.
Let's get through this article.
Okay.
How more I got to go here? Okay, good. We're almost there. My soapbox is nice and warm. Where did I leave off? Help me, because I got all excited about my soapbox.
For most customers.
Where?
Right there where I'm wiggling.
Okay. For most customers, performance of our 5G nationwide network will be similar to 4G DSS. What? Wait a minute. Who? Wait a minute. Oh,
this is Verizon talking.
For most customers, performance of our 5G network will be similar to 4G DSS. Is new technology we are continually modifying as we go.
Now, you know what that says? What that says is, okay, we're using this new technology, which makes 5G basically useless, but we didn't bother testing it before we put it in a phone, so now you have to deal with it. That's what that says to me.
Okay. It's sort of like getting charged for a modem that you don't have.
Exactly.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. It's different if you're lucky enough to get millimeter wave
That's
5G.
true. Yeah.
There you should see blazing speeds, but as this is a limit to a Wi-Fi like range, you won't see it very often in big cities.
Even in big cities.
The rest of the time, Verizon users are stuck on DSS.
Yeah.
If you don't have a dedicated channel, DSS lets you use the odds and ends of unused 4G channel for 5G.
Exactly.
The 4G and 5G phones compete for the same 4G channel. The only difference is that 5G ones are running the 5G encoded system for the channel. There are no non-speed advantages to DSS, or there will be in the future once carriers go to standalone 5G systems. But right now, you're just going to get slower performance.
But of course, some carriers have already gone to standalone 5G systems, like
Oh,
T-Mobile.
right. Okay. All right. And then I'll get back to that in a minute. If you don't have UWB ultra wideband,
Yeah.
right, 5G coverage, you'll likely to have better Verizon performance for now by disabling 5G on your iPhone. I found over in the UK. I found occasionally that see the high speed 5G is more often is no difference than 4G.
Exactly.
Huh. So let's just real quick for a second. Didn't we have the big shot from Verizon go on stage of the iPhone 12 presentation and talk about 5G?
Yep. Yeah, but they were talking a lot about millimeter wave, and nobody disputes. Yeah, if you've got millimeter wave, you're way faster than they. But you can't get millimeter wave except in a few specific spots in a few specific cities, and you better not go around the corner because you're going to lose it. So yeah, I mean, they're just admitting that this DSS crap is useless, and you can see why they're doing this. Because who has the best 5G coverage, not millimeter wave, in the country by far? Well, T-Mobile does now because they took over Sprint, and now they've got low band and they've got mid band, and it's working. So this is Verizon's way of trying to compete with that.
And yes, and I do admit though the T-Mobile side of things are good. But I still don't think. I think they're just blowing a big cloud.
No, because after I read this article yesterday, I took my iPhone 12 Pro.
Okay.
I took my Samsung Galaxy S20, both 5G phones,
right,
and I took my Pixel 4a, which is a 4G phone, and I ran speed tests on all three of them multiple times. The iPhone wiped the mat. Even the S20, but both the S20 and the iPhone were way faster than the 4A, which does not have 5G. So the 5G, I think what's happening is I think T-Mobile's mid-range 5G is now working, and it's a heck of a lot faster than 4G.
See, you talk about that, and I that's what made me think of, because I've asked you before, and you seem to be quite pleased with the performance.
But I told you before that it was minimally better than 4G. Well, now it's better than minimally better, and I think that's because of Sprint's mid-range.
Right, and I think it's because of the market that you're in, that you're getting this kind of.
Yeah, but I had good coverage with 5G in both Miami and in Chattanooga,
don't get me wrong. I find at times. Okay, now I'm in the Philly market. Philadelphia area.
So you should be getting it, I would think.
You would think. But again, I think there's something a little shady here, because if I turn off my Wi-Fi and it connects immediately 5G. Now, I go down the street, probably a mile and a half down the road is a convenience store. Okay. And I get 4G. Now, why am I, the minute I leave this little area, now I've always talked about this little area, there is some kind of repeater or some kind of booster that's in this area where I live in my road. Okay.
Now, one thing I will say does happen here in Chattanooga when I'm at work or even here sometimes. And let's see what my iPhone is saying right now. It's not showing me. If I walk outside, instantly I see 5G. It doesn't matter whether I'm here at home, whether I'm at work. As soon as I go in a building, it seems to go back to LTE. But the second I walk outside, bam, I've got 5G.
Right. And well, again, it goes back to their promise you 5G.
Right.
You get that difference. You should get 5G in the building. Now
when I ran my speed test yesterday, though, I was getting 5G speeds inside here. I was sitting in the same room. Yeah, and the speed over the 4G from the Pixel 4a was a whole lot better.
I find 5G in certain locations, the speed is, I'm talking about speeds and all, but the minute that I flip to LTE, the speeds are really good. They're really, really doable. You know what I mean? I'm not going here and waiting and I'm not deprioritized or nothing like that. I'm getting good speeds on these phones. But yes, I do find 5G still not as fast as I would think. But
keep in mind, you have to keep in mind that we are talking low band, mid range, or millimeter wave too.
Now you know what
Let me show you. I don't have my S20 turned on right now, but yesterday this was my 4A. Now this gets okay speeds, and this is and can you see the top one? That's the last test I did. Okay.
Hold on. I'm trying to get to. No, it ain't gonna work. Wait a minute. Can I make it bigger?
5.36 down and 3.38 up. Okay. And they were pretty consistent. The one before that with it 8.31 down and 3.19 up. So up was almost exactly the same. This was on the iPhone, which was a whole lot faster. 44.1 up, 13.1 down.
But they're all on T-Mobile.
Yes, they're all on the same. I was just trying to show the difference between the 4G
5G.
and 5G. And it did, inside this room, it did show me a difference, but the S20 was faster, quite a bit faster than the Pixel, which is just 4G. But the iPhone wiped the mat even with that. It was the S20 was in the 36 range down, where the iPhone is 44. So.
Because we're still not going to give these carriers a pass, and especially Verizon. Especially Verizon.
I agree 100%. Because what's Verizon doing based on this article? They're doing the same crap that AT&T did with their E.
It's the same shenanigans. This time last year, people got an update, and all of a sudden they show 5G E. Was it?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same crap all over again, and they're admitting it.
They're admitting it, but they're not. They're getting away with it.
What bothers me is when they say, "Oh, it's new technology and it'll get better." Well, if it's new technology, why didn't you test it before you implement it? No, I'm supposed to pay for a 5G phone that you're telling me I'm not going to get 5G on. That is totally unacceptable.
Hey, George, there's my niece there.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, by the way. She's down in she's visiting family down in the Carolinas, and there's another convert. There's another Pixel convert right there.
Okay, Merry Christmas, Emily.
But yeah, I just
welcome to the Pixel people.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just that stuff just grinds my gears.
I can understand that.
And
these companies are so arrogant. They think they can just admit it, charge you more, and you should be okay with that, because that's exactly what this is saying.
Well, yeah, Verizon charges more, I believe.
Well, they all charge a little bit more. Well, so far, my plan
T-Mobile
has not charged more yet for my 5G so far. So,
yeah, yes, Gary, she is now part of the Pixel squad. Yes,
exactly.
Team Pixel. That's Emily one. So let me just. I'll circle back. There's another person right there, Emily.
Yeah.
Love you, sweetie. But she had a Moto Z Force 2, the Z2.
Uh-huh.
And I gave her that because her one phone was dying, but not one complaint about having, the latest and greatest. As long as that thing was able to take pictures and she can do duo calls to her boyfriend or
Exactly.
she was just, I miss my. Oh yes, she misses her karate. She did say that.
With the phone, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Turning the light on, turning the light on.
Yeah. So I wonder if there was an app for that. I wonder if there's some kind of
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
I just remember getting back to Alpha. There is a guy on what is it? How to Men. Have you heard of him?
Who is it?
How to Men. Let me see if I can get his channel.
How to Men. Okay.
Yeah, let me. He did a thing. He found a way to get iMessage on an Android.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy what you got to do to get it, but he can do it.
A lot of steps, I would guess.
It's interesting, and you don't. It's not root. No root at all.
Would it be interesting to a non-tech person? Or would it just be a pain in the butt?
It's going to be a pain in the butt.
Okay.
It's going to be a pain in the butt. But I'm going to try and get this.
Okay.
Share, copy.
Well, if you're going to share, I guess I'll Sunny. Okay. I couldn't resist.
There we go. Check out his channel. He's got really some interesting stuff, and just talk about iMessage. He found a way of getting iMessage on that phone. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, Verizon. Yeah, I know, Brian. I'm with you on that. I have a love-hate interest. I love their internet. I got the FiOS here. It's been probably the best internet. I haven't.
That's because you've never had what do you call the glass cable?
Fiber.
Fiber. You've never had fiber.
I know. Trust me.
Google and Chattanooga are usually the fastest fibers in the country, often in the world. So Elmo still has it, and boy, that spoils you because it's really fast.
I know. I bet you. Yeah, you're wishing.
Well, I had it for 4 years.
Yeah, I know. It's then to come back. You're in the neighborhood, but you're not close enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, you could get it here, but my landlord he's happy with his Comcast.
Oh, okay.
Once I put the extender into my room, I haven't had any problems. But of course, it's nowhere near fiber optic speed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it's good enough.
I will admit, though, so far I've yet to see you ever have, breaking up. Or
every once in a while I have an issue where I have to reconnect, but not very often. In the beginning, more so. Now, very rarely.
Got you. So
yeah, Gary made the right comment. That's for sure. Exactly.
Again, real quick, getting back to the 5G thing, real quick. I listened to the recent podcast about the new 888. And it seems like a lot of hope on the integrated modem that's going to be in.
Yeah, I guess a lot of the OEMs are going to be happy they don't have to pay for a freaking separate modem to get.
Right. Well, come on. If they don't have to pay for it, that was their excuse. Now, what's it going to be their excuse for the price of the phone?
What some people are hoping is that they won't go as high up as they were going last year, because last year they had the built-in excuse. Well, now they don't.
What we call it the 5G tax.
Yeah, exactly. So now they don't have that excuse with the phones that are coming up this year.
It's it's technology that we're all a bunch of beta testers.
Yeah, exactly.
In a lot of ways.
But in some ways, you expect the new phone, next year's phone, to cost a little more, but not the kind of jump you had because they had to pay for that 5G modem.
It was a big jump. It was a huge jump.
Yeah, it was a big jump even for some of the smaller phones.
Mm-hmm. It took a pandemic to get the reality back in there, because you can get a 5G phone for under under $700.
Well, yeah, now you can get it for 5G phone under $500.
Right. But then again, I guess hopefully I'm holding up this phone, folks, for one reason. This has the integrated chip for the modem in the 765. So they're able to come out with a really nice phone. Pixel comes to mind, the Pixel 5 and the 4A 5G that has that capability in it, and give you what, $499 price for the 4A 5G.
Exactly.
But
I think that phone is priced well. If I didn't have the 4A, I probably would have bought that.
In less than a month, George, supposedly, did they announce the Samsung event?
It hasn't been announced officially, but everything I hear is that it's going to come out on January 14th.
Okay.
Now, Don was asking me yesterday, was I going to get it? Well, I've spent a lot of money on tech these, not just phones either. My new iPad Pro. So can I afford it next month? I don't know. I'm leaning away from it. And you know what Samsung phones, 3 weeks later, a month later, the price is going to drop some. I may just wait till then.
I mean, well, they give you great trading value for your.
I don't want to trade in my S20.
You don't trade in your. Okay. Yeah, I'm tempted. I'm tempted just because to see the 5G technology in the new phone.
Right.
I mean, I have my S.
Now, of course, there's no guarantee that the S21 is going to have the 888. It's been implied that it will, but when you looked at Qualcomm's announcement, the one phone company that was not on that list that they didn't mention was Samsung. Samsung was not one of the companies they mentioned.
Really?
Yeah, but we're all assuming that it's going to have the 888. Now, keep in mind, with it coming out that soon, by the time Qualcomm announced that modem, they would have had to have had it in the S21 already.
Yeah, that's always been a thing with Samsung and Qualcomm anyway.
Right. They both on the latest and greatest.
That'll be the case. That's
usually the first ones in the year to have the latest and greatest modem, but they haven't officially said anything, so we're all assuming that it's going to have the 888. I hope so.
Big House just posted this. He just said this, and I want to ask him a question. That I might have to pull the trigger on the 4A 5G. What? Why? I'm just asking why. Do you have a Pixel device now?
Yeah, I'm with him. If I just had the 3A and I hadn't already bought the 4A, I would be buying the 4A 5G also.
Oh, okay. Because I mean,
for the difference between, it's $100 difference between the 4A and the 4A 5G. I think it's worth it.
I don't know. I think you're going to get the same performance. He has the edge, like I do. And
you're not going. I just showed you the difference in speed with the 4A having only a 4G modem.
Yeah. But he's got the Moto Edge with the Moto Edge has got 5G in it, and it's using chipset in it. And to be honest with you, the camera. I'm not saying it isn't. Camera's always
exactly great. Yeah. It's hard to delineate between the cameras because you're delineating between the best cameras. Period.
Okay. Here we go. He says here, I have a 2XL. It's time to update.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
100% perfect sense. Yeah.
Yes. So you want to still keep the Pixel experience. You really want to. Okay. Well, then there you go. Man.
I hope when he looks at the screen, it doesn't get all fuzzy. Pixelated. Oh, I couldn't resist. I could not resist.
Working with Big House on this one. Oh man. Well, how about it, George? You got anything else you want to add or say? Or
no, nothing new for me. I have some cheap earbuds that I want to unbox at some point, but I've had them for over a week and I haven't had a chance to get to them yet. But other than that, nothing special, nothing new. And of course, I have a whole bunch of camera comparisons still ahead that I've never gotten to. So
and
I'll have plenty to do.
This for Tudia, did I say?
Say it again.
Did you do a case review or cases?
Yeah, I did a case review for the for Tudia for the stylus, Moto G stylus, and I did one for the which one? I did two. guess I can look. I guess I could look at my own.
I gotta look at the Moto G stylus. I gotta watch that video. Because I think did I. Oh, by the way, did I tell you what happened? Well, I'll share this conversation with everybody.
Okay, it was a one for the Moto G stylus and one for the TCL 10 Pro.
Okay, my mom's phone about 2 weeks ago went into boot loop for
Which phone?
3AXL.
Really?
And it was the weirdest thing. And please, if you want to interject or anybody out there, it went into boot loop, and thank God she had her tablet, so she's communicating with me that way.
Right.
And by the time it was like almost, it was a Sunday morning, so I was just literally getting out of bed, and I'm talking to her, and way she was describing, I said, all right, and get to mom's is about 40 minutes to get to mom's.
Okay.
But no sooner I got probably halfway, I got a text message saying it's back, the phone's working. Okay. And I'm like going, really? And I'm like, and I haven't messed with it much. It seemed like it was fine. I got her old Pixel out, brought back the OG, brought that back to life. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you guys, or you, George, or what would you do? I'm torn because I really want to have her stay on the Pixel.
Right.
Would you just say it's a fluke? She's super careful. I know she would tell me, Mike, I dropped the phone. She would tell me if she dropped the phone.
For the price, it would make me nervous enough that for $350 to get her a 4A, I would just go out and buy her a 4A, period.
Well, I got an extra phone. I was thinking of giving her the stylus.
Well, yeah, as long as she doesn't miss the difference in pictures.
No, George, you follow my mom on
Facebook. Okay, so make sure.
As long as she can get a picture of her grandkids and food and her.
Yeah, okay. Mostly I follow your mom on Facebook, so yes.
Yeah, so I think she's not going to be old, like a photographer.
Yeah, then I agree with you. But Are you going to? That's right. You have yes. Yeah, I would give it a stylus. That makes perfect sense to me.
Okay. So in other words, you wouldn't just give the Pixel, her old Pixel, another go. Just chalk it up to a fluke.
As it stands now, I would probably keep the stylus ready to go. And if she didn't have another problem, then leave it as it is.
Mm. What's this here with I'm thinking of trading my iPhone SE 2020 and getting one through Amazon. What do you trade in? Wait a minute. Big House, what are you doing?
Trading
it. You can trade in a phone on Amazon? Someone fill me in.
I didn't know that. But I have seen some places that were offering trade-ins on iPhone SE, but I didn't know you could do it through Amazon.
Wow, that's cool. Okay. Brian, thank you.
Brian, thank you so very much. That is very kind of you.
Super Chat's wide open, but I don't have that capability. So next week you can do that with George's channel.
All right, you owe me.
I got. But I got.
Of course, we don't know if it's going to be on me next week or Ted next week.
I know. I get a little loud. You got to turn me down. I get it. So.
Well, when you first came on, it was very loud. I turned it down.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I just attribute that to good quality microphones.
What's this again?
I just attribute that to good quality mics on your end.
Yeah. The Blue Yeti does really. This is really nice. This is really nice, and I have to say the camera quality. I know. So I went back into some of my videos.
We're the same.
Okay, cool. Do you have a little puff thing on here?
Yes.
Do you? Okay. And then I got this Logitech camera, and I noticed the differences right now. They are offering $205 for my SE.
Oh, big. Good for you.
Big House, we got to talk.
Yeah, I would go for that too.
You've been holding out on me. You got a little trade secret, I don't have.
Now you've made him jealous, Big House.
Yeah. So
hey, I'm glad to know that Amazon does trade-ins too.
Yeah, I got to check that out. So, so in other words, you would give the Pixel another go.
Yeah. As long as it didn't give
a factory reset.
But the very next time it happened, I would give it a stop.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, with that in mind, because now I got to watch your video. I want to check out that case because she didn't care for the case that the one I have on it. So All right. I'm done. I'm good. I could talk here for hours, but I want to get downstairs and do
The
stuff.
shortened Christmas episode, and I'm just glad Mike was willing to do it. And hey, I think we had a good
Well,
show. We had a good turnout tonight.
Yeah. Yes. Very good. Very good. Yes. And I learned something today. And Amazon does trade-ins. Big House, I'll be messaging you when I get a chance. About what's the deal here. Give me the lowdown.
And next week,
it
would be on my channel or it'll be on Ted's channel. I will let you know. The way it stands right now, it'll probably be my channel. But we'll
it's New Year's. You're going to do one?
Yes, I'll do one New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And
New Year's Day. New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. It's New Year's Day. So everybody will be sober by 8 o'clock at night. Hopefully. So yeah.
Yeah. So with that in mind, George or Ted would be posting what they're doing. I should be around. I
hope you're still around, and with some miracle, maybe we'll even get Will. Who knows?
Oh, right. So,
and everybody, let's continue to keep Will in prayer because he's very much a frontline fighter with this COVID stuff.
Yeah,
and
we
don't know if he's gotten the shot yet, but I would think he's in line to get it pretty quick. So let's just keep him in prayer.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I talked to him and not get into all the details, but man, no, simply no.
Mike and
I'll go flip burgers before
Mike and I both agree that Will's more man than either one of us as far as his job goes.
Yep. So,
Gary, look at Gary's gone. Gary's going to watch Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah,
see, I'm not going to get HBO just to watch Wonder Woman.
They're not even giving me free trials, George.
Yeah, I know. I'm not paying for that. She's pretty. She ain't that pretty.
Well, again, I'm Mike Dixon, Joker Tech. Hopefully, I'll have a video before the holidays are over on a comparison on these two phones because I'm really going to probably annoy some people.
We'll be
I want to do that.
Oh, let me just say one thing before we leave. 3 days ago, I was riding my bicycle in the park. At some point, it was 59 degrees. This morning, it was 22 degrees. Sunday afternoon, I'll be riding my bicycle again. It'll be in the 50s again. This is southern Tennessee weather.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yesterday, I had to drive to Knoxville.
That was a hell of a storm went through here.
Well, yesterday, I had to drive to Knoxville from Chattanooga, so 115 miles each way. I drove to Knoxville in the morning, got back early afternoon. It was still in the 40s. By the time I went home, which was only an hour later, it was already starting to get snow flurries. Then it cleared up in Chattanooga. Well, guess where that storm went? It went straight to Knoxville, where I was, because one of the YouTubers in Knoxville said they had 4 inches already. We got nothing.
Really?
I had a really good day.
Really, you got lucky. That storm was from north to south. That when that storm, that was bad. The wind was bad. Really.
The next town up, Cleveland, Tennessee, they got some snow. Chattanooga got 0.
Wow.
So I was very happy.
So anyway, I'm Mike Dixon. This is Joker Tech, and
this is Mobile Geezer, and everybody have a wonderful and blessed weekend, and we'll see you next week.
I'll see you guys around.
Because Arkansas is the same with the crazy weather. I understand.
In 3, 2, 1.
Here comes our pregnant pause.